Wang Lin defies death completes the first transformation, becomes Divine Emperor, and instantly crushes a challenger with overwhelming power. Wang Lin's anguished roar spread across the burning starfield. As he opened one of the two remaining fire tattoos, origin energy surged violently into his body, deepening the torment. At this moment he wore crimson armor. A massive white vermilion bird circled him, absorbing part of the origin energy within. Yet even so, the remaining force 8 times the normal limit was still something Wang Lin could barely endure. The tearing pain intensified. It grew sharper, more savage. But it did not break him. Instead, it stirred the defiance within his soul. He laughed through the agony. The sound was harsh, feral, touched with madness. This is only the first transformation of the 9 mysterious transformations. I, Wang Lin, will succeed. With a furious roar, his left hand slammed down on the final fire tattoo on his right arm. Instantly, the last tattoo released all of its stored origin energy. Flames engulfed him. The heat was overwhelming. Even his body could not withstand it. His flesh began to burn. You have reached your limit. This old man knows you have done your best. The vermilion bird, Divine Emperor, sighed softly. He raised his hand, preparing to stop Wang Lin. He understood that the power required for the first transformation was far beyond what Wang Lin could bear. 8 times the origin energy was already his extreme. At 9 times, he would likely burn to death before success. But just as he was about to intervene, Wang Lin suddenly turned. His body burned fiercely, yet he did not care. His gaze locked onto the Divine Emperor, and his hoarse voice cut through the flames. I'm still not at my limit. You? The Divine Emperor froze. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with madness, with refusal, with unyielding will, with a courage that defied the heavens themselves. He was like a peerless, vicious demon sealed deep within hell by the heavens. No matter how many years passed, it would never submit. In that instant, the Divine Emperor understood. Wang Lin's Tao was the Tao of defiance. To cultivate by defying, to form Tao by defying, to defy Tao itself and create my own heaven, to defy heaven, and change fate even as his body burned. He did not stop. His hand rose to his forehead. His origin soul surged upward. A vortex formed between his brows, and from within it, his ancient thunder dragon origin soul burst forth. It roared, shaking the heavens. Roar. The thunder dragon exerted its control. Thunder began to gather within the burning starfield. In moments, the sky was filled with it. All cultivators within the region felt the oppressive force. The rumble of thunder drowned out every other sound. Bolts of lightning twisted like serpents, weaving and converging toward Wang Lin. They moved so quickly that only flashes could be seen filling the heavens. From above, it would appear as endless waves of lightning crashing toward him. A storm of thunder swept across the starfield. At its center, Wang Lin burned. Lightning crashed into his body. Fire and thunder wrapped around him, merging into a violent harmony. At that instant, the white vermilion bird lunged forward and fused into his body, transforming into a tattoo upon his armor. Its stored origin energy surged into him. At the same time, the energy absorbed by his armor flowed back into his body. 9 lifetimes of origin energy. All of it, the accumulation of 3 years, now erupted within him. Wang Lin became a being of fire. Flames gathered before him, forming a vortex. Across the starfield, all flames responded. They surged toward him just as the thunder had. The eternal flames, never extinguished, were stirred. Fire and lightning intertwined. Red and silver fused together, forming a terrifying spectacle. The flames that covered 30% of the Alliance's eastern region erupted outward, spreading toward surrounding starfields. In the Azure Dragon Divine Sect, ferocious mosquito beasts swarmed among towering trees. At their head was a massive purple mosquito as large as a mountain. It suddenly lifted its gaze toward the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect. Its cold eyes gleamed with excitement. The entire sect felt the change. At its center, on a green planet, stood a sky-piercing tree. 3 elders sat upon it. At this moment, all 3 opened their eyes simultaneously. The new Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor is about to be born. Excitement flashed through them. Without hesitation, they rushed toward the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect. The disturbance spread. In the Black Tortoise Divine Sect, within a vast swamp, a massive toad lay lazily. Occasionally, its tongue would lash out, snatching passing beasts. But now its eyes snapped open. Thunder burst from its body, turning the surrounding 1,000 feet into a domain of lightning. It raised its head and looked toward the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect. Like the mosquito beast, its eyes shone with anticipation. Elders from the sect rose into the sky, flying swiftly in that same direction. The birth of a Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor concerns all 4 divine sects. They moved like beams of light. From the White Tiger Divine Sect, several figures flew into the stars, smiles upon their faces. Within the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect itself, chaos surged. Countless cultivators left their planets and entered the starry sky. Most were filled with excitement. Some, however, wore uncertain and gloomy expressions. Among them were the 3 candidates for the next Divine Emperor. 2 men, 1 woman. All were between the Nirvana Scryer and Nirvana Cleanser stages. The most prominent was Ren Tao, already at the early Nirvana Cleanser stage. Behind him stood 4 elders, their gazes dark as they stared at the sky. Ren Tao's face was cold like still water. He could feel it clearly, the fire within the starfield rushing toward its depths. The first transformation of the 9 mysterious transformations. So what? Liu Yun Fengjian, have you made your choice? The other 2 fell silent. After a moment, Liao Yun raised his head. His gaze was steady. Senior brother Ren, I fought in the demon spirit land 3 years ago. This Wang Lin is not someone I will provoke. There was faint mockery in his eyes. Once arrogant, once unwilling to accept Wang Lin, Liao Yun had changed. That battle had left a shadow in his heart. Even now, recalling it sent chills through him. Over 3 years, through what he learned from Big Head, that fear had deepened into something else. Respect. In his eyes, Ren Tao's plan was like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Utterly foolish. Feng Shan, the lone woman, pondered quietly before shaking her head. If he succeeds, I will acknowledge him as Divine Emperor. If he fails, I will follow Senior Brother. Ren Tao's expression darkened further. He was about to speak, but at that moment the flames intensified. A deafening rumble echoed. Fire and thunder merged completely. Their speed surged several times over. Endless flames poured into the depths of the starfield, rushing into Wang Lin alongside the thunder. Alone, he drew all fire and lightning of the entire system toward himself. The Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor revealed rare excitement. There was even a trace of satisfaction in his gaze. As the flames surged, Wang Lin closed his eyes. Then he raised his right hand and pointed to his chest. Seal 1. Thunder roared. Flames gathered faster. An illusory figure appeared behind him. It was Wang Lin. A perfect reflection formed entirely of fire. The moment it appeared, all flames in the starfield seemed to bow in submission. His hand did not stop. Seal 2. Seal 3. In an instant, he pointed 9 times. Each time, the flames surged faster into him. The illusion grew clearer, more solid. Finally, his voice thundered, 9 seals complete the mystery first transformation. The figure behind him solidified completely. Another Wang Lin. Not an avatar, but the spirit born from the first transformation. It merged into his body. It fused with the fire seed within his origin soul. A second origin soul was born. Time seemed to stretch endlessly. Then Wang Lin opened his eyes. A scorching light burst forth. The surrounding flames danced wildly as if welcoming their king. Within that gaze, thunder rumbled. Wherever he looked, lightning roared and flames surged perfectly fused. Divine Emperor, Divine Emperor. The entire Vermilion Bird Divine Sect cried out in ecstasy. Only Ren Tao suppressed the fear rising within him, his face growing ever darker. At that same moment, the Alliance, all Heaven, the Corpse Sect, and all remaining factions were shaken awake by this event. Since the founding of the 4 Divine Sect, the emergence of a new Divine Emperor had always shaken the heavens and stirred the earth. The 4 Divine Sect possessed an extremely ancient history. It had existed even before the celestial realm collapsed. Although the celestial realm stood as the sovereign at the height of the four divine sects' power, when all four divine emperors were present, even the reign celestial realm had to show them respect. Whenever a new divine emperor appeared, the celestial realm would send congratulatory gifts. In those days, there was no Cultivation alliance. There was only the Brilliant Void Realm. To be more precise, the Brilliant Void Realm was a subordinate force of the celestial realm. It was responsible for governing all cultivators of the lower realms. However, because the Four Divine Sect was powerful, and because of certain special reasons, the celestial realm allowed both the Four Divine Sect and the Brilliant Void Realm to exist side by side. The appearance of a new divine emperor was enough to cause a tremendous disturbance in origin energy. For powerful cultivators, it was something they could clearly sense. At this moment, when Wang Lin completed his first transformation, the origin energy throughout the entire Alliance star system began to ripple outward. With the Vermilion Bird Sect as the center, all heaven had already occupied the western and northern regions of the Alliance star system. Messengers of the Thunder Celestial Temple could be seen everywhere. After successfully annexing these two regions, the Thunder Celestial Temple now reigned supreme there. Black palaces like small mountains floated among the stars and slowly advanced. Around each palace were large numbers of all-heaven cultivators. There were at least 100 palaces forming a vast army. They were moving toward the various alliance forces in the central region. Although there were many cultivators, there was no sound. Only the sound of flying swords could be heard. After years of warfare, the all-heaven cultivators had changed as well. Their former immaturity had vanished, replaced by a fierce killing aura. At this moment, the fluctuations of origin energy spread out and passed over them. However, with the cultivation levels of these cultivators, it was extremely difficult for them to notice such subtle changes in origin energy. Yet inside one of the palaces near the rear, a palace almost 10 times larger than the others, Master Flamespark suddenly opened his eyes while in closed-door cultivation. The moment he opened his eyes, the other 10 elders inside the palace also opened theirs. Light flashed within their gazes. One of the elders slowly said, "This fluctuation of origin energy came from the eastern part of the Alliance. Could it be that some powerful treasure has appeared in the eastern region of the Alliance?" Master Flamespark pondered for a moment, then shook his head. This fluctuation is not the birth of a powerful treasure. The eastern region belongs to the Four Divine Sect. Could it be that a new divine emperor has appeared? Master Flamespark's eyes lit up. He was still not completely certain. After all, he had left the Alliance long ago. The Four Divine Sect. If even the Cultivation Alliance is no match for us, then such a small sect would simply collapse beneath the pressure of my all-heaven army. Inside the palace, a red-haired old man revealed a look of disdain and pride. Master Flamespark looked at the red-haired old man and said, "The Four Divine Sect is absolutely not what you imagine. This fluctuation of origin energy is very likely the birth of a new divine emperor. I simply do not know which one." He did not know why, but along with that fluctuation of origin energy came a sense of unease. That feeling was extremely mysterious, yet also extremely clear. Another person also sensed this fluctuation. It was an old man dressed in black. He had just stepped out from the tunnel that connected all heaven to the western region of the Alliance. He immediately raised his head and looked into the distance. His gaze seemed capable of piercing through the star system, and his eyes began to shine. The Four Divine Sect's new divine emperor. This fluctuation contains a trace of fire origin energy, so it should be the new Vermilion Bird divine emperor. In that case, this play has become even more interesting. Master Everlasting, when the Alliance falls into chaos, there is no way you will not appear. In the southern part of the Alliance, deep within the Corpse Sect, there was a large black coffin. Chains wrapped around it, forming an octagon, and connected it to another coffin. A vast number of coffins filled this place, forming a structure like a web. Cultivation planets had been moved here through some unknown spell, and these planets revolved around the coffins. At this moment, the ripple of origin energy passed through. A soft sound of surprise came from the coffin at the center. A new divine emperor has appeared within the Four Divine sect at a time like this. Interesting. As his voice echoed, the sound of nails scratching against coffin lids rang out. That sound made one feel as if someone were tearing at their heart. Cracks even appeared in the nearby space. The four great powers among the remaining alliance forces also sensed this fluctuation. The strongest among them, the rank 8 cultivation country of Chu Yun, controlled dozens of planets and arranged them into a formation. The Chu Yun sect was located on the main planet, and the Chu Yun sect was the overlord of the country of Chu Yun. Inside a secret room of the Chu Yun sect sat an old man with a very kind appearance. At this moment, the origin energy rippled past. He opened his eyes, and after pondering for a long time, he softly said, "Mo Ji." After he spoke, ripples appeared before the old man, and a bald young man in green stepped out. He clasped his hands toward the old man and respectfully said, "Mo Ji greets teacher. A new divine emperor has appeared in the Four Divine sect. Go and take 4 top-rank, 5 celestial pills, 100 ordinary celestial pills. Celestial treasures, 1,000 of them, and also the spirit I refined 5 years ago. Send them as a gift." That spirit. Moji raised his head and looked at the old man, but before he could finish speaking, he stopped and nodded. That spirit is extremely valuable, but Chu Yun's gift must include it. Teacher has calculated that this divine emperor is an old friend of yours. Befriending this new divine emperor is extremely important to my country of Chu Yun. Old friend. Moji had very few friends, but he did not ask further and left. At this moment, within the Four Divine sect, rays of light charged toward the Vermilion Bird Divine sect. The flames within the Vermilion Bird Divine sect raged violently, and the cries of Divine Emperor had already reached their peak. Wang Lin let out a deep breath as he looked at the starry sky filled with fire and thunder. Not far behind him, the Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor was filled with excitement, and he laughed. "Good. My Vermilion Bird Divine sect has a new Divine Emperor. I can finally leave with a smile." He raised his right hand and reached into the void. A crack appeared before him, and 3 rays of light flew out. "Wang Lin, as the Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor, you need 3 things. The first is the cloak of the Vermilion Bird Divine Emperor, passed down through the generations." The old man waved his right hand, and a ray of light shot toward Wang Lin. The light transformed into a white cloak before Wang Lin. 9 vermilion birds surrounded it, and it gave off a dignified aura. I took off this cloak during my 3rd Heaven's Blight. I never thought I would have the chance to wear it again. Today I pass it on to you. The old Divine Emperor revealed a melancholy expression. Wang Lin touched the cloak with his right hand. The cloak turned into light and wrapped around Wang Lin. When the light faded, Wang Lin was already wearing it. Wang Lin already had white hair and crimson armor. Now, with this cloak behind him, he gave off a strange and profound aura. Wang Lin clearly sensed an ancient feeling from this cloak, as if it had already existed for an eternity. The second thing is the identification passed down through generations of Vermilion Bird Divine Emperors. The Vermilion Bird Holy Token. The old Divine Emperor waved his hand, and the second ray of light shot toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin caught it, and the light transformed into a flame-shaped token. It was only the size of his palm, but when he held it, Wang Lin could feel the powerful fire energy within, along with an ancient aura. The third thing is the most important object of my Vermilion Bird Divine Sect, the Holy Treasure. The third ray of light fell into Wang Lin's hand and transformed into a white stone. As Wang Lin carefully observed the Vermilion Bird Holy Treasure, he immediately saw countless runes flashing continuously across the white stone. Every time the runes flashed, the heat coming from the stone would increase. It felt as if these runes had not stopped flashing for countless years. Wang Lin's gaze became serious. A storm rose within his mind. He took a deep breath and held the stone tightly. He sensed an extremely faint aura from this stone, an aura similar to the heaven-defying bead. This aura was very weak, but it truly existed. If he had not held it in his hand, he would not have been able to feel it. The blood of the holy treasure is still between Qing Lin's eyebrows. You can remove it at any time. The old divine emperor looked at Wang Lin with a hint of relief. These three things were passed down by the first vermilion bird divine emperor. Only each generation of divine emperor can pass them down to the next. You must keep them safe. The old divine emperor struggled to stand. His body was already extremely weak, and the simple act of rising was painful for him. However, the excitement and relief in his eyes allowed him to forget all that pain. After standing up, the old divine emperor waved toward Wang Lin. His face was filled with kindness. Wang Lin walked beside the old divine emperor while pondering. The old man looked at Wang Lin and placed a hand on Wang Lin's head. Then he softly said, "From today onward, you are the new divine emperor. Go and meet your clan members. I am going into the final cultivation of my life. Come back to see me in 7 days." Wang Lin looked at the old divine emperor. He opened his mouth as if he wanted to say something, but in the end he closed it and nodded. He gave the old man a deep look before turning around and walking away. The red armor, the white cloak, the white hair, and the white vermilion bird tattoo gave Wang Lin a very special temperament. He slowly disappeared into the distance. The old man closed his eyes and began to cultivate. Mo Jai was the bald man Wang Lin had first met on planet Suzaku inside a temple on a rainy night. Later, it was revealed that he was the Alliance's messenger watching over planet Suzaku from within the Suzaku tomb. Wang Lin's heart felt somewhat heavy. The old divine emperor's gaze had made him think of Dun Tian, and he let out a quiet sigh. As Wang Lin moved forward, almost every cultivator on the cultivation planets he passed flew into the air. Cries of divine emperor shook the heavens. Those voices carried the excitement and expectation that every member of the vermilion bird divine sect had suppressed. For countless years, more and more cultivators followed behind Wang Lin. In particular, the younger disciples looked at him with deep reverence in their eyes. As Wang Lin advanced, more and more members of the vermilion bird sect gathered in his wake. "Master!" An excited cry rang out from among the vermilion bird members, causing Wang Lin to pause for a moment. Lei Ji and Big Head quickly flew toward him. Wang Lin revealed a smile and nodded to the two of them. As he continued forward, a cheerful laugh echoed through the starry sky, and Situ Nan appeared. He embraced Wang Lin and smiled. "Good brat. You finally came out." Wang Lin's smile became even wider. Situ Nan's injuries had healed, and his cultivation had grown even stronger. Even the poison within him had been suppressed. The woman in silver and Master Hollow Wind arrived after Situ Nan. The woman in silver silently followed behind Wang Lin. As for Master Hollow Wind, although his expression remained respectful, the joy in his eyes came from the depths of his heart. At last, when Wang Lin arrived before the final planet of the vermilion bird divine sect, the number of sect members gathered there was enough to cover the sky. Divine Emperor! Divine Emperor! The thunderous roars echoed out, drowning every other sound in the starry sky. This final primary planet of the vermilion bird divine sect was also the planet where Ren Tao stood. At this moment he listened to the sect members cheering around him, and his expression became even darker. He stared at Wang Lin with a vicious gaze. Beside him, Liao Yun looked at Ren Tao with disdain. Then he flew into the air toward Wang Lin, who was surrounded by countless people, and respectfully said, "Liao Yun welcomes the Divine Emperor." His heart was filled with reverence. No one understood Wang Lin better than those who had gone to the demon spirit land, and he was one of them. Wang Lin's spell had made everyone who witnessed it in the demon spirit land admire him completely. Feng Shan hesitated for a moment before also flying into the air and greeting Wang Lin together with Liao Yun. Most of the sect members on the planet welcomed Wang Lin with excitement. The gloomy faces of Ren Tao, the few elders and the others loyal to him, formed a sharp contrast with everyone else. Ren Tao suddenly raised his head. He stared at Wang Lin, who was smiling among the crowd, and shouted, "Wang Lin, I want to challenge you." He had no choice but to do this. If Wang Lin continued like this, he would no longer have any chance of becoming the Divine Emperor. In the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect, The Divine Emperor was God. Anyone who dared oppose the Divine Emperor would become the enemy of the entire sect. However, there was one law within the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect that gave Ren Tao the courage to challenge Wang Lin. This roar echoed across the stars and instantly caused everyone to fall silent. The gazes of the surrounding people all gathered on Ren Tao. There were several Vermilion Bird Divine Sect elders present. Their duty was to help Wang Lin smoothly inherit the position of Divine Emperor. They would not allow any rebellious voice to appear. This was a death order issued by the old Divine Emperor. Ren Tao's forehead was covered in sweat. Everyone's gaze was locked on him, causing his mind to tremble. However, he no longer had time to worry about that. He stared at Wang Lin and roared, "Wang Lin, do you dare accept my challenge? If you don't, then you are not qualified to become the Divine Emperor." The three old men behind Ren Tao stepped forward and surrounded him. Then they stared at the various elders among the sect members. "Hitanto Dari, are the three of you going to openly oppose the old emperor's command?" A tall old man walked out from the crowd. He was one of the Nirvana Shatterer elders who had been in the demon spirit land. "Elder Joe, the laws of my Vermilion Bird Divine Sect state that when a Divine Emperor passes the title to the next generation, all sect members have the right to challenge the new emperor for the position. Is that not true? Reckless fool." A cold light flashed in Elder Joe's eyes. He sneered but did not attack. Instead, he retreated a few steps. It was not only this old man. At this moment, among the countless people present, all those who had gone to the demon spirit land looked at Ren Tao with mockery in their eyes. Some even looked at him with pity. Under these gazes, Ren Tao's mind could not help but tremble. He had heard many things about Wang Lin's achievements in the demon spirit land 3 years ago, but he had never believed them. Right now, he could clearly see that Wang Lin was only at the peak of the Nirvana Scryer stage. This made him believe those rumors even less. He was just about to speak. But at that moment, Wang Lin's cold gaze locked onto Ren Tao. The instant that gaze fell upon him, Ren Tao's body trembled and a chill rose within his heart. Even the eyes of the three elders behind him narrowed. "If you challenge me, there will be no chance for survival. Are you still willing?" Wang Lin's voice was calm, yet it was filled with cold intent. Everyone who had been in the demon spirit land felt a chill rise in their hearts. They could never forget that power which tore apart the darkness of night, nor that fist which could shatter the heavens during the dream of ancient times. Ren Tao's mind trembled even more violently, and a trace of foreboding appeared within him. However, he could not retreat now. After carefully confirming once more, he determined that Wang Lin was indeed only at the peak of the Nirvana Scryer stage. His expression darkened as he clenched his teeth and said, "Challenge." Wang Lin nodded. His original body was currently separated from him, but even without that powerful ancient god body, Wang Lin still possessed his spells. With magic arsenal alone, he could slaughter all Nirvana Cleanser cultivators. And he would even dare to battle Nirvana Shatterer cultivators. In truth, whether his original body was present or not made no difference right now. If there truly was a difference, it was that his powerful body would allow Wang Lin's endurance to surpass everyone's expectations. There was no need to even mention Sundered Night, which he could only use under special circumstances. Wang Lin did not know that during these 3 years, his Sundered Night had already spread far and wide. It had stirred a great storm throughout the Alliance. Not only had Sundered Night killed Master Void, but 2 of the All-Seer's avatars had been killed as well, and 1 had been seriously injured. Such a battle record allowed Wang Lin to become a top cultivator overnight. "No matter what, you are still a member of the Vermilion Bird Divine Sect, so I can allow you to die by fire burial." Wang Lin waved his right hand, and at that moment a phantom spirit body appeared behind him. 9 mysterious transformations. The instant this spirit appeared, an uproar spread among the surrounding sect members. Even more excited gazes fell upon Wang Lin. The 9 mysterious transformations was a spell that only the Divine Emperor could learn. Even Ren Tao's face immediately turned pale, but resentment and unwillingness quickly filled his eyes. He let out a roar as his hands formed a seal and flames erupted from his body. The heatwave formed a blurred suit of armor around him. Wang Lin's eyes were cold. He waved his hand, and the spirit behind him entered his arm. As his arm moved, he pointed toward Ren Tao's body. Fire burn! The cold voice echoed out, but it contained the might to command all flames beneath the heavens. At this moment, so long as it was fire, it had to obey Wang Lin. Just these two words caused the flames around Ren Tao to tremble. Then unexpectedly they pounced toward Ren Tao himself. In this moment of crisis, Ren Tao's blurred armor shot forward like a flying sword, rushing toward Wang Lin. Ren Tao's mind trembled. He had never imagined that Wang Lin could control his own flames. He knew this was his final chance. If this strike could not seriously injure or kill Wang Lin, then once the flames behind him arrived, he would fall into grave danger. One strike is enough to take his life. Wang Lin's expression remained calm. His right hand formed a seal and pointed at Ren Tao. The first transformation of the 9 mysterious transformations was displaying its full power. At this moment, Wang Lin felt an intense heat coming from his right hand. Rise 3 Realm Flame Origin. As Wang Lin's calm voice echoed, he pointed at Ren Tao, and Ren Tao suddenly coughed out blood. Popping sounds came from within his body. He was immediately forced back. Fear and horror filled his eyes, but what he felt most was confusion. However, just as he was pushed back, even more sounds came from inside his body. Blood mist erupted from him, and he became a bloody mess. At that moment, his body shattered into pieces, and the explosions continued. Fresh blood sprayed out, and Ren Tao let out a miserable scream as his origin soul rushed out in panic. He was still confused. He did not understand how a single finger had been enough to make his body collapse. But just as his origin soul escaped, a thunderous roar that filled him with terror came from within it. That roar contained the destructive force of fire and thunder. Ren Tao's origin soul immediately collapsed. It ended in an instant. Everyone else only saw Wang Lin point twice, and then Ren Tao died. From beginning to end, Wang Lin remained calm. He was not disappointed by the 9 mysterious transformations, a spell that could only be cultivated by each generation of vermilion-bird divine emperor should naturally possess. Terrifying power. Perhaps it was stronger than I expected, because it fused with thunder. Wang Lin's gaze swept across everyone and landed on the 3 old men behind Ren Tao. One of them was at the early stage of Nirvana Shatterer, while the other 2 were at the late stage of Nirvana Cleanser. Do the 3 of you also want to challenge me? A white flame appeared in Wang Lin's right eye as he stared at the 3 old men.